Welcome back, friends. Mark Peotter here. I want to introduce my new mascot. I was lucky enough to get this as a Christmas gift from a coworker. My little Mr. Potato Head, surrounded by a few musical instruments. Here he's got his tenor saxophone, his flute, a clarinet, and a guitar, all of which is played by yours truly. And today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to try to compare the difference between getting the guitar sound you want by effects and the amplifier versus getting the guitar sound that you want by the effects and the amplifiers that are available virtually on your software. Now, I do have a predisposition or a preference to use the gear, meaning the guitar, the pedals, if any, the guitar amp, and then I just put an SM58 microphone up there and then put it into the compressor, analog digital converter, and then we record it digitally. But some people think that you can get just the same effect, if not better, just plugging straight into the computer and then just using all the effects on the computer after you've recorded it completely dry and clean. So that's what we're going to do and compare right now. The first lick we're going to do is a pretty simple, easy rock and roll lick. I've got my Boss ME70 set for my favorite overdrive distortion. On this pedal it's labeled Modern, and I'll show you the settings on a photograph. And the amplifier is set to the clean channel, so there's no effects whatsoever. The bass and treble are both set to 5. I'll show you a picture on that as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's do lick number 1. Oh, and the guitar volume is at 5, and the tone is 7, and I'm using the bridge pickup right now for the first lick. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... Now, one of the advantages I can see already is that because I'm hearing exactly what I'm going to get in my recording, is that I can do it over and over until it sounds the way I want. Okay. And now for lick number 2, I'm going to get a little more tricky. This one is going to involve a little more sustain on the guitar and a volume swell at the beginning. But hey, on the DAW, right, you've got software to ramp up the volume or take it down. So theoretically, you're thinking, yeah, I could do that on my computer. I don't need to do this live. All right, so on the ME70, we're going to keep the settings exactly the same, but I'm also going to use the volume pedal with my foot now. All right, and I'm going to turn up the guitar to 10. And now for part 2, we're going to try to recreate those same licks just by plugging straight into my analog digital converter, which goes into the computer. Right into this digital analog converter right here. It's my Focusrite 8. And you can see on the LEDs over here the levels. Okay, so I checked my levels on my guitar and try to get it approximately, you don't want a lot of red. Okay, I'm going to use Logic Pro. I'm assuming that a lot of people use Logic Pro. Like with the amplifier setting, I've got this guitar back down to 5. The recording camera is going to capture my monitor speakers playing. 1, 2, 3. I think that's close enough. I'm going to work with that. Now let's go for the second lick. That one, I bring the guitar up to 10 and I use the neck pickup. And this is the one that's going to include volume swells. Okay, I think that'll be a keeper. Anyway, so now let's go to the channels here and add effects. So, amps and pedals. Well, here's the problem. Which one do you pick? Let's try pedal board. Add stop boxes. Monster fuzz. I don't think I want that one. Tube burner. That might be cool. How about candy fuzz? It's got something going on there. Let's turn that one off. It looks like these other two are on. Okay. So now if we set up a loop here to play this over and over. Okay, so let's try some of these things. Right now we got tube burner. Okay, that's my tube burner. Okay, without going too deep into this, that's probably going to be my favorite one. This is the monster fuzz. Let's try the candy fuzz. That is a lot of fuzz. Alright, so back to the tube burner. The tone of the guitar has changed a lot. I believe that some of those clicks are partly due to the DAW responding to the changes that I'm trying to make. Okay, so after playing around with this for a few minutes, which is roughly the same number of minutes that it took me to get the sound off of the pedal board and the amp, I'm going to go with this one. It does not sound just like the other recording. But the main thing that frustrates me right now is that there's these extra pauses and kind of like shifts in the sound that I'm hearing. Yeah, see especially at the end there, you hear the several like a stop and start, and I don't know, that's very annoying. Now let's go on to the second lick, which is a single string, and it's as if a lead guitar lick, I guess you could call that, but this includes volume swells. So to simulate the recording of the pedal board and the amp, I'm going to use the same pedal board effect in the DAW. It feels like more of a fair comparison because I use the same pedal on both licks live. Okay, so we got the tube burner up here again, and one of the things I noticed right away is that the tube burner has a lot of buzziness that I don't remember. It's like a digital buzziness, zzz, which is different than the pedal board that goes into the guitar amp. Okay, so now I'm going to insert some volume swells here, and I think I just want a straight ramp, and then I'm trying to remember how I performed it. I think there was a tiny volume swell on this attack as well, and then on the third attack I'm pretty sure there was a volume swell there as also. Let's see, I gotta go up to like that. Let's put all of these down. I'm just kind of guessing at how much to pull it down. Alright, let's hear it again. Wow, I'll tell you, this is horrible because of all that clicks. What is this, a Morse code operator? I really hate it. I mean, I can't use that for real ever. It's just too many clicks and everything. Now, trying to ignore the clicking part of it, what do I think about the effect of the swells and you know, comparing it to my amp and my pedal? Do I feel like it's similar or not? Yeah, I'd have to admit there is some similarity. I don't like the tone of the distortion, but there is a similarity as far as the way it swells and sustains. So if I could just get rid of this horrible clicking, we might have a chance, you know? Here we go. Let's try bouncing the project. And I'm just going to let it pick, let's see, start at measure 7, and then go to measure, and just go approximately 16. I'm going to open it with the Apple Music Player. That's interesting because it doesn't sound exactly like it did when I was just, you know, listening and auditioning it in the Logic Pro. When I play it back as a file, you hear that horrible clicking, and then it kind of goes away. That's very unexpected. Alright, so as far as sound quality goes, unusable. I can't go with that clicking sound and like that. Okay, so my final thoughts here. My preference and my advice is to get your guitar sound as close as possible to what you want it to actually be for the recording before you record it. Then use a microphone connected to a rack-mounted compressor, not a virtual compressor, which is in turn connected to your analog digital converter, connected to your computer, and record your guitars that way. I recommend the same advice for all the analog items, the voice, the saxophone, the violin, even drums. If you have a drummer, this is the way to do it. However, using the software virtual pedals, effects, and amplifiers may be good for two applications. One would be to get creative. And I think this is probably the best reason for using the software, is to try to achieve something that's never been done before. The second reason you might want to try using your DAW for everything is the expense, because you don't have a lot of gear to get the sounds that you seek. So to put it simply, using the DAW for everything is frustrating, but it is less expensive. All right, thank you for watching.